Legal Dose is a production of the Civil Rights Clinic at the Charlotte School of Law. None of the views expressed herein are necessarily the views of the clinic, its members, or the Charlotte School of Law.
Welcome back to the Legal Dose. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing the Civil Rights Clinic's project, Ban the Box. And with me today to discuss the project is Lindsey Engels, one of the new members of the clinic. You're involved in a ton of projects, but this one seems to be one of your favorites.
I really do enjoy this one, and I think it's because of the amount of community interaction that I get to have with the citizens of Charlotte, and not only just them, but even the community providers and the people that are actually supportive of certain civil rights topics in the community that you never really thought actually existed before actually getting involved in the movement.
Mm-hmm. So February 25th was a very interesting night in Charlotte. The Charlotte City Council took up an issue that night. The clinic was there, community members were there to talk about Ban the Box. And we all know at the end of the night, they voted, it's going to committee. Hopefully they see the light and they move the box later in the application. But you read about it, but you were there. How big was this event?
I don't think I realized how much community support we had. I kept hearing the numbers, and then I got there and watched the people flood in. And it wasn't just the professionals that are in support of it, but it was also the community members that were in support of it, that are in need of it. Mm-hmm. To see them come out and whatever they had, to make whatever effort that they could to get there, to show the city council that this is meaningful to them, was really effective to me. It was very emotional for me because I felt like I was actually doing something to impact our community, because I could see so much need in the room, and it was just a feeling of raw emotion that there's no description for.
So feeding off of that emotion and actually feeling like you were doing something, what was it like being there at the meeting, being with everyone from the community, advocating for people to have a fair shot at a job, at trying to get their foot in the door? What was the emotion like in the room?
I think it was a little... I think it was more of not a desperation, but a feeling of need, a feeling of excitement that people actually were going to hear what they were going to say, and a feeling of pure drive, feeling that they were a member of something that meant something. So many people came out, and we had these signs, and it was so neat to sit in the top because everyone was wearing red, and it was like a sea of red in the auditorium. We filled the auditorium, which normally in city council meetings, is
pretty sparse.
It's pretty sparse. And the entire auditorium was filled from the front to the sides. I'm not sure if we went into the overflow room or not, but the entire auditorium was filled with red. And we had these signs that this wonderful woman had made for us that had these great messages. I think my favorite was, how can I shine if I'm inside my box? And
nice. I
loved it. And every time, instead of applause, people would hold up these signs in support while our speakers were talking to city council and trying to make their argument for the support of the ordinance. And it was so neat because even though you didn't have, university educated, not everyone was the smartest people in the entire world. Not everyone, was politicians, but they were real community members saying this is a real need, and they were there to show them that it's so important.
Did you have a chance to talk to any of the speakers?
I did. I spoke to two of the speakers afterwards. I think we had 5 speakers in total. I spoke to Tommy George, who is the owner of Pasta Provisions off of Providence Road. He was one of our great speakers. And then I also spoke with Eric Ortega, and he is a employee at the Center for Community and Transitions, which that whole agency does so much work for reentry, and those people in the community that are in so much need, especially in the employment area. So hearing both of them along with our other three speakers and having the chance to speak to them afterwards was just so neat to hear their emotion after it was voted to be sent to committee.
Oh, man. Well, right now I'm going to play some clips from Lindsey's interviews with people who were at the city council meeting, people who were speakers there, people who were just in attendance. So let's have a listen.
Ashley Bach with Melange Health Solutions, and I support Ban the Box so that criminals have a chance to rehabilitate themselves and be productive citizens.
Okay, my name is Brian Boyd, and I'm here for Ban the Box because I think it's unfair. I think it handicaps an individual that's coming out trying to do the right thing, a nonviolent person that was committed a nonviolent offense. I just think it's unfair that they don't have a equal opportunity as others. So.
Donnie Armstrong, presently working with Goodwill Industries of the Southern Piedmont, and I support Ban the Box simply because everyone deserves a second chance. I work with consumers that have criminal convictions and charges and have a very difficult time in finding employment. And we need to make sure, and I really believe that it affects the economy of the city of Charlotte as well as the state of North Carolina.
Yes, my name is Milton Dodd. I'm here to ban the box because I really believe, actually I've done 12 years since I've been home 3 years and I've been fully employed ever since. A lot of people don't get the same opportunity that I had. I'm trying to represent and give everybody a chance.
Robert A. Johnson III. I'm with Goodwill Industries of Southern Piedmont. And the reason for my support is because I work with participants in my program that not only have disabilities, but they have barriers with criminal backgrounds. And so they have kind of like those two foes against them in terms of getting employment opportunities. So I'm here to really to support them and also support family members as well, too.
So will you say your name one more time?
Robert A. Johnson III.
Thank you.
My name is Eric Ortega. I'm very excited that this motion has been passed. It gives us an opportunity to again further move forward with Ban the Box and hopefully institute it in the city of Charlotte.
This is Tommy George, and I just finished speaking with the city council about Ban the Box, and I'm so excited that they passed the motion to go to committee. I was very worried because my own district councilman voted against the measure, and I was getting a little worried because I see it as a no-brainer that there should be no box, and I'm very excited for the next step in this process, and I'm hoping that we can convince the whole city council that it is something worth taking a positive look at and take the right steps.
Thank you.
That was some interesting reporting there, Lindsey. The emotion just from that is very palpable for those of us that did not have the opportunity to be present. What were some of your favorite moments from the presentation to the council?
I think I really loved when Eric Ortega asked them to be our champions. I think that really put it on them to realize that it was in their own hands. Mm-hmm. I also loved when Miss Maddox, she stood up there and she kind of did this demonstration before she started speaking, and she made them look at her, and she was like, "Do you see me? Do you see who I am? Because I'm not my criminal record." Mm-hmm. I think it was also very neat at the end. We had a heavy hitter, Henderson Hill, at the end. And he is a great public figure in the city of Charlotte. Mm-hmm. And they timed all of their speeches. And you could just tell the influence that he has in our community because the timer went off and he kept going and no one stopped him. And his argument was so sufficient and so meaningful that it was great to see the effect that they had each individually on the city council members as they were sitting and listening.
Wow. So, okay, city council voted. It's now in committee. So at this point, next steps there is I know the clinic's talking about putting stuff together, presenting it to the committee. And basically right now we're just waiting for what's coming out of committee. But not even a week after the Charlotte City Council sends Ban the Box to committee, North Carolina State Legislature introduced its own Ban the Box legislation.
Yeah, it was really awesome, and it's great to know that Rodney Moore from Mecklenburg County was one of the supporters of this initiative of the bill. There were, I want to say, 5 supporters of the bill. 6. Various different supporters of the bill. We would have liked to have seen it be a bipartisan effort. Unfortunately, it wasn't, but it was really neat, the timing to see, and then also see that we did have support from Mecklenburg County. So I think even going forward, with North Carolina even proposing its own legislation, I think that we now have a valid argument to even take it to Mecklenburg County and spread it just outside the purview of the city of Charlotte into the county.
Okay. So next steps now, hammer the council, take it to the county, and make sure the state implements it.
Yes. And then I think we have some, grandeur ideas as well as spreading it to other entities. Because I know that Richmond, Virginia, my home city where I'm from, had even reached out to us to say, hey, guess what? We proposed Ban the Box on the same night. So it'll be interesting to see how other entities handle this.
Well, I mean, and that's very, very coincidental because Richmond's also home to former league member for life, Charlie Schmidt, who worked on Ban the Box with Isaac Sturgill, who, although he's with Legal Aid of North Carolina, was also with the Civil Rights Clinic.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see how the leaguers are taking it to the rest of the country.
I know. It's pretty great.
How is it that we end up with all these projects that they start off local and then they go national? Release dismissal agreements, Ban the Box, our public records project. We're just not happy with Charlotte.
Well, I think it also speaks to the quality of students that we have in the Civil Rights Clinic. I think we're all really hard workers. We're workhorses, and we all get done what we're asked to do, but then we also see the larger picture, and we see that not only Charlotte needs it, everyone needs it. The community, the nation as a whole needs the initiative. And so I think that we're just great enough to maybe make the impact.
I think we are too. So no rest for the weary. It's we've still got a lot ahead of us for Ban the Box, don't we?
Yes, long road ahead, but hopefully a very successful one.
I think it will be. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Legal Dose. This is Jordan Dupuy with Lindsey Engels, and we'll see you next week.